Today I'm going to explain to you the three debt scenarios and how we will deal with each of the following three. Okay, so the first scenario is this is a temporary situation. So for example, your car broke, all of a sudden you've got these additional expenses which you need to cover. So this is not a long-term thing. So if it's a temporary arrangement, you enter into an agreement with the creditors. Please do not avoid the creditors, do not ignore their calls, phone them up, explain to them what the problem is so that you can enter into an agreement with them. So in this agreement, you will ask them to reduce the installment to what is affordable for this period, and also ask them to either extend the repayment term or to recalculate your installment into the remaining terms. So, for example, your monthly installment is 500 Rand. You can only afford to pay 300 Rand over the next 6 months. You ask them to restructure the remaining outstanding balance, which will go into arrears on the account, into the remaining repayment term of the loan, or you ask them to restructure the total loan agreement and extend the period from where it could have been 36 months to perhaps 40 months to catch up the arrears and to settle the arrears on account. The second scenario can be a spending issue. So here it requires a little bit more. First thing you need to do is you need to budget. And then you need to budget some more. And then also budget again. And most importantly, track your budget. So, how do we draft a budget? We first look at what is your bare necessities. When I say bare necessities, what you need to survive. So, obviously, things such as casino spending, obviously not listed there. We need such things such as groceries, housing, transport, and, for example, school fees, if it's applicable. Things that you will list in your budget if you had to lose your job tomorrow, what will you need to pay every single month? The bare necessities. Then, you compare the bare necessities to your bank statement and your expenditure in terms of your bank statement. When you compare these two, you will notice that everything that is listed on your bank statement but not included in the bare necessities is most likely considered wasted expenditure. You will use this information on your bank statement compared to your bare necessities and then draft a proper budget. I find that an Excel spreadsheet, or you actually get apps that you can also use for this purpose, to be very effective. And then obviously every single month track your budget and your expenditure to ensure that you actually stay within your budget. So the third scenario is if you need more severe help. The first two scenarios are not going to get you out of your financial difficulty. You might need debt review. How this process works is we first conduct an assessment on your current financial position. We track your income and expenditure, and we'll also assist you to draft a budget. Thereafter, we issue a restructuring proposal to your creditors. This is the start of our negotiations with your creditors, whereas we propose the new installment and interest rates to your creditors, the reduced installment and interest rate to creditors, and then we negotiate with them the repayment proposal. Once we have found an agreement in terms of the restructuring proposal, we will apply to the court to have your debt review order granted, and you will then pay in terms of this restructuring proposal since the inception of the debt review application. Once you've settled all the debt except for your bond, we will issue you with a clearance certificate. This confirms that you have now settled all your outstanding debt, and which means also you can reapply for credit and you are now credit worthy. And you must also understand that there is no rehabilitation period. Often consumers think that once you've settled all your debt in a debt review application, there is a 5-year period which you cannot apply for debt. There's no such thing. You can immediately reapply for credit once we've issued the clearance certificate. There are three debt scenarios. This is temporary. For example, emergency expenses that you did not budget for, which you now need to enter into an agreement with creditors. 2, you've got a spending issue. Every month you're short in terms of paying your creditors and your living expenses. It's seriously time to look at your budget. Look at your bare necessities and draft a proper budget and track same accordingly. If that still doesn't help, and that doesn't work, you'll most likely need debt review, whereas we restructure your debt repayments, reduce your installments and interest rates to make your debt affordable.